focuses on urban infrastructure management, urban governance, planning sustainability, and the management of complex urban systems. The school also hosts a vibrant PhD program with scholars engaged in research across urban management and governance. Our programs have received an excellent response from industry, and our alumni are contributing to leading consulting firms, research and policy organizations, and government programs and missions. We take pride in the fact that our graduates are actively engaged in shaping equitable and sustainable urban spaces across the country. Continuing this commitment, the school organizes the annual Research on City Summit, and this year marks the 10th edition. It is within this broader setting that today's session, INNOVATEX, brings together practitioners and experts to explore the role of emerging technologies in building sustainable cities. To formally begin the session, it is my privilege to invite Sri Prashant Kumar Mohapatra, Technical Resource Person, Housing and Urban Development Department, Government of Odisha, and former Engineer-in-Chief, Odisha Water Supply and Sewerage Board. Sir, we kindly request you to deliver the opening address.
At the outset, I would like to thank Madam Kajri Madam for inviting me. It's always a challenge to speak before the students and especially the management students. Because the way she was describing the syllabus, the content of what you people are studying, management and urban management policy, governance, management of infrastructure. So you have left nothing in your syllabus, which in our last 35 years of service we have been dealing with. I can because it is a forum for the startups, and maybe the students will take some benefit out of that. And I am told that there are good startups from water and waste sector. So I am also curious to understand what you guys have come up with and how we can fit in our system. We deal with water and wastewater and sanitation in the government sector. It's a monopoly. You can say the assets are locked, so you can say we are a monopoly in that sector. But however, we have also a ecosystem where we have consultants, where you have designers, and where you have the whole service chain that supports our service delivery. So in a sense, startups, you have also a lot of opportunity. In fact, if I go back to, let's say, 20 or 30 years back when we started, in fact, we didn't have computer, we didn't have laptop, we didn't have chat GPT or what you people have been dealing with. So in those era, managing urban infrastructure, managing water, and even thinking of how do we optimize resource. So those concepts were more or less academic concepts. If you would have done masters in IITs or somewhere, you would have come back across with such type of concepts. But when you are in hardcore doing engineering or providing service to the public, then probably you will be always fighting, or rather firefighting, to optimize the resources that you would have at your hand. For example, the manpower that you would have, whether they are trained or untrained, or the money or the fund that you would have. So how do you expand your service? How do you provide better services? Now, fast forward, today, if you say that I don't have money, or I don't have fund, I don't have resources, government will not spare you. Government will say, we have provided everything. And then your job is to, provide the services and live up to the expectations of the public. If I talk about the last decade of our work in government sector, especially in water and wastewater, Odisha has been a front runner in providing or delivering the services. So wherever we go, if you say we are from Odisha and we have been dealing with water or wastewater, people will, definitely they look at us that yes, you people have done something, and we are proud to host you or proud to invite you. So that is the kind of feeling. For instance, you must have heard about the Drink from Tap initiative of Government of Odisha, the 24/7. Today, we have already 12 cities where we have having continuous water supply. Started with Puri. So, and it not only that, the manuals or the SOPs that we produce in Odisha that are getting adopted at the national level. So that is the kind of innovation that has happened in our state. So using, let's say, technology, and of course, taking the help of mostly consultants and not exactly startups, the ecosystem of startups, we have been able to pioneer many things. And in there also, community participation, uh, including the Jal Sathis, the women self-help groups. So that has helped us in pioneering or delivering better services. In case of sanitation, we have pioneered decentralized services, decentralized sanitation, and there also, we have adopted technology. For instance, digitalization of services. As you know, most of our households we have on-site sanitation system. Sewer is not yet, you know, there in our cities. We have only 5 cities we have sewer. So in the last decade, we thought the government decided to solve the sanitation challenges. What is the way forward? Though you may argue that as a manager, let's provide the best solution. Let's provide the sewer. That would be the gold standard, like in Western countries. But if you look at the type of dwellings, the type of urban settlements in Odisha or in our region, you may argue what could be the right solution, whether it is a centralized sewer system or it is a decentralized solution, or whether it is separate fecal sludge and grey water management. While the rest of the country are debating on these issues, we pioneered decentralized solutions and then became the front runner. And it is not only providing the service, it is also, we argued that these are the climate smart solutions. In fact, uh, in 2024, I argued before the IWA in Toronto. Madam is from Toronto University. So IWA invited me. So I presented a paper there and they gave me award for that. I said, the way I am dealing sanitation in Odisha is a climate smart solution. So digitalization, using our, taking the help of our community partners and public, and designing the solution and providing the better service. So that is our USP. Now, having achieved all this, the challenges are not yet over. As you know, because of the climate change impacts, our water resources are getting increasingly polluted. So we are moving further away from the existing sources to source water. So the concept of regional planning, bringing water from distant reservoirs and mostly designed in rural areas, and providing that water in villages and also in towns. So the concept of urban rural convergence in water and sanitation has also taken shape. So again, these are the initiatives Odisha has pioneered. So I find there is a lot of, despite our achievement, still we as a team, when we work in government, still we find there are a lot of things uh, where technology can enable us in accelerating our service. For instance, in uh, sanitation sector, or in waste management sector, or wastewater management sector. To give an example, to give a very simple thing, if you want to do something with water or wastewater, you need to measure. Today, I still struggle uh, to measure, let's say, how much flow or the wastewater flows in the drain, and how do I plan to, let's say, build a STP, what would be that capacity? Though I use GIS, previously GIS was unthinkable. Today we use all the drone maps or satellite maps, Google Earth, and QGIS and all, ARCGIS, whatever. Still, you need equipments or sensors. I would love to find a startup to come to me and say, let's put this sensor and let's record that these are the flow in your drains and these are the wastewater qualities or characteristics over a period of time. So many things are still missing. And even to get a good planner also, or to get a good engineer also to plan something for us, it's also a struggle, which means that uh, there is a disconnect always with what exactly is happening, what we plan or what we think, and what exactly happens. For instance, when we travel from, let's say, Bhubaneswar to this place, we find a lot of developments. I was wondering, I was asking my friend, look, there are so many apartments. What has happened to the drainage and the storage or the water supply of this area? Somebody must have planned. I was asking my friend, Mr. Misra, that who has planned this? Somebody must have planned. And what we did in the government, and what happens to these kind of settlements to provide improved services or better services. So I leave this thought to you, and I'm curious to hear from you. So the startup ecosystem, what you have done in or what you have come up with within the waste management sector or water and sanitation sector. I was also in charge of Bhubaneswar city sanitation, a chief engineer for quite a few years. So I have also a little bit idea of how do the city handle the waste, and because there are a lot of plans for converting the waste to biogas and all. So there is always a challenge of the present challenge of circularity, recovering the resource from whether it is wastewater or the waste, and to showcase to the world that look, this is the situation, or this is the baseline, and this is how we have tackled the situation, and showcase to the world. So looking forward to your deliberation and your ideas and your innovations, which can help me in taking to the back to the government, so that we can adopt some of your solutions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for setting the context for this roundtable session. Now we'll be moving on to the first segment. For the first segment, we'll be hearing from five distinguished speakers. Mr. Himanshu Sharma, founder, CEO of Co Agri Ventures, Ms. Priyanka Kataria, Joint General Manager of RITES, Charmi Sharma, Manager of Logistics and Industrial at JLL, Ripal Kanji, co-founder and technical head, GRRID Corps, and Renu Thomas, founder, director, and CTO of Vivifica Solutions. To begin with, we will now move on to the individual presentations as well. Each speaker will have around 15 minutes to share their perspectives. We'll be taking question answers at the end of the segment, which will be handled by our moderators. To begin with, it is my pleasure to invite Mr. Himanshu Sharma, an IIT Kharagpur graduate and entrepreneur. He has founded and scaled a large-scale sustainable farming venture operating across 1,500 acres with 8 polyhouses spanning over 4 Indian states. His work focuses on building scalable systems and advancing integrated agri-industrial ecosystems grounded in circular economy and principles. I invite Mr. Himanshu Sharma to share his perspectives.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. Professors, respected professor, dignitaries, and fellow students. Fellow students, because students are often forgiven for their mistakes. So I will be a student today and I will try to learn. So having listening to sir, I was like very scared because I am gonna talk about water. And I was like, no, he's gonna judge me now. So but I'm very grateful for this opportunity where I get to share like how I'm doing farming using water. Everyone does farming with the water. I'm not doing aquaponics. It's just I'm doing it in more sustainable way. But before that, what CoAgri does? CoAgri is a farming company. We do our farming. And how we do it, like we identify untapped potential lands which have a lot of potential, but they are not able to get the maximum yield or maximum, say, capacity of their goods. For doing that, we deploy technology, we deploy manpower, and we deploy the right practices. For that, we have to take care of end-to-end operations. Sounds very easy, but it's operational mess. I enjoy it, but I have to get my hand dirty and especially my shoes dirty a lot. So that's what CoAgri does. We do farming. And one of the untapped opportunity was Rajasthan. It's my home state, so it's easy to start there. But it still have a lot of opportunity because there is a challenge right now. Groundwater is depleting, and agriculture requires a lot of water. So what's the solution? When there is a challenge, there is an opportunity also. The easiest solution is to use the recycled water. So we have tied up with the Rajasthan government, and we are using the STP water for irrigation. The first pilot is for 55 acres barren land. It was earlier a barren land because there was no water availability. But STP discharges a very useful water for irrigation and agriculture purposes. Farmers, I have seen that they are little hesitant to use that water because it is a sewage water. But otherwise, it's one of the most suitable water for agriculture purposes. So that's what we are doing. It creates a wonderful loop, not only a water loop, like we are using recycled water. It's going in the ground. It's helping generate the employment. Second, it's also a nutrient loop. All the waste, it's a organic rich STP water, which helps over the time. When we start with a barren land, the organic carbon content of that soil is very less. So we have to you have to develop your soil, the profile of your soil. So over the time you can do with this water, and all the fertilizers which we generate from STP also can be used here. So over the time you see the synthetic chemical usage and the fertilizer usage goes down. So you are reducing the chemical use also. Further, to increase the carbon content of the soil, we are using biochar also. So there is a 3 loop which we are using. I have to make the presentation beautiful, so there are some pictures, and it's not our work, it's basically nature's work. We have just given the ecosystem for that. The first picture you see is the STP water storage infrastructure, which government was earlier doing. Why this project was required? It's because, like, I think sir can tell us more, but Rajasthan has a very unique problem. It has STP plants across the smaller towns and bigger towns, but it does not have any rivers. They do not have an way to drain the STP water out. So they were, if they were just letting it out on the farms and fields, it was creating a problem in the community. So government was actually looking for a solution how to use that STP water. Generally, industries use it in near to urban areas, but in a smaller towns, like say 10 lakhs or less of population, it is a very challenge because you do not have industries nearby which can use water. If you just let the water flow or in the someone's plots, it creates a problem. So you need to use that water also. But to just imagine for me that excess water was a problem in Rajasthan was very surprising. But that's a problem we were facing. How we are implementing it, Rajasthan government. So basically not exactly Rajasthan government, the local municipal body is our partner into this. And we are getting lands from the farmers. They are getting the lease right now and the employment on the local level for that. We are the one who is developing the water infrastructure. We are setting up the drip irrigation. We are setting up the pipelines and everything. The challenge here for the government earlier was that individual farmer didn't have that capacity to sustain those cost of infrastructure for themselves. And if government does it for 1 or 2 farmers or 3 farmers, there will be like a requirement they have to do it for all the farmers. So you need to figure out a model which is sustainable in a long term. So that's why where we come in, where we join, like we create a bigger farms, like 100 acres, 50 acres or more. So other than this project, almost all of the farms which I work on are 100 acres. And then we take care of the crop production, crop selling end to end. But it also, when we were doing this and we were trying to do market linkages, we realize there's another interesting problem we are solving is the food in urban areas. I was just discussing with ma'am there that right now the food is coming from Nilgiri to Bangalore, Bangalore to Delhi, and everywhere because we are looking for food all year round. But the best and the healthy food is which is locally grown. And how do you do it locally when you have the proper infrastructure? The interesting thing, if you leave out the metros, other than the metros, the smaller cities, tier 2 city, tier 3 cities, almost many of them has a STP plant, but they do not have enough volume for a big player to supply the fresh veggies all of the year. So if you can enable and empower the farmers nearby, the fresh produce will be sold it will be harvested in the evening and it will be sold in the morning in the that market itself, and that's a great opportunity. And so far we have just around 7 months old, but we have a lot of inquiries regarding that they want to visit our farms, they want to pick it themselves because it's so close to the city. STP range is around just 10 to 15 kilometers, so it's not very far from the urban sectors. If we have to measure the impact, uh, time will tell, but I'm just hoping that I'm able to make it on a sustainable model. That is my first principle, that it has to be sustainable. Why am I emphasizing on that? Because when we were discussing it with government wanted a long-term solution where we actually pay for the water. It should not be free, and we were willing to pay. If I get a good water source, which is a dedicated source, which is like I can rely on the reliable source, it is nothing like that for me. So I'm okay to pay for that. This ways, most of the STP plants are not sustainable because they do not have a revenue sources in most of the cases until unless they are in next to a metro. So this is another way where the STP plants we might be able to contribute for their sustainability also. Other than that, we are helping to recycle the water, we are improving the carbon capture and everything. My idea from here is not to stay only in Rajasthan, but to move forward, make it a national movement, not for only co-agri. The name co-agri is collaborative agriculture. So it's if we have to make a difference here, it has to be like everyone has to come together. So if this model can be replicated everywhere, that would be our success for us. But if that happens, it has three victories for us. Farmers win, environment win, and the cities also win because they are able to use their STP water and they are able to get the fresh produce. It's I've already covered this. So right now in our current model, there are three partners. There's a tri-party agreement which we do with the government, farmers who is owning the land. The idea is that farmers start doing their own farming after say 3 or 5 years once the land is developed, and we have developed the infrastructure, and we just become their market linkages partner. So it's like kind of hand holding in the initial struggling phase. I had to put this to say, share like what we are doing, but I think every farmer does that. So that's all from my side very fast. Thank you.
Getting the water to irrigable standard or it is your
I request everyone to note down the questions that you all have right now. We'll be addressing all the questions at the end of the first segment. So we move on to our next speaker, Ms. Priyanka Kataria. She's a joint general manager at RITES Limited with over 15 years of experience in urban transport planning, urban engineering, and sustainable infrastructure development. She has played a key role in delivering large-scale urban mobility and master planning projects across India, working on multimodal transport systems and transit-oriented development. An MPlan and BTech graduate, she combines strong academic grounding with extensive project experience and is actively committed to mentoring young professionals and promoting inclusive and sustainable urban development. I invite Ms. Priyanka Kataria.
Thank you for this warm welcome. And respected teachers, professors, dignitaries, and students. Please spare me, my voice is not that great today. I have to sunk in 2-3 weeks before I can speak this much also. So I'm basically representing Rights Limited. Rights Limited is a. Acha, before I start speaking, I would like to say that we have our mandate, very recent mandate from Pradhan Mantri ji, that we have to start speaking in Hindi, and we have to turn it to our official language. So, however, but अभी तो मैं एकदम इंग्लिश जाएगी नहीं और हिंदी आएगी नहीं, ऐसी वाली सिचुएशन है. तो मैं कोशिश ये करूंगी कि दोनों बातों को ध्यान रखें और हिंदी और इंग्लिश को मिक्स कर दें. I am from Rights Limited. Rights is a Navratna PSU, public sector undertaking under Ministry of Railways. We've been listed now on the SEBI, and we have a mandate of transportation, the transportation sector, entire transportation sector. So as I see that, I can see people here. I had attended that plenary session of ma'am, because she was talking about cities. So from here only the transportation starts. So when we speak of cities, we often speak of land. We often speak of land and building and economics, but in reality, the transportation is the one which actually creates a rhythm between the cities and productivity, and actually it is a competitive edge. So the slide doesn't changes here. No, I think it's changing only here. So right. So we have been evolved, and it's been 50 years. We are now moving towards an old age. And we were awarded the Navratna status in 2014 only. And it's been a long time that we've been serving transportation. The idea of giving birth to rights was that we were a technology transfer company to Ministry of Railways. But then we have evolved, and we have now been working in various metro cities, various other cities also. And we have also moved internationally. We have also worked for Mauritius Metro, which was a part of Government of India funding. And we have also worked on a lot of projects in Africa and Central Asia. So we are basically a global infrastructure consultant. And it's not just I'm boasting about my company. It's about that before I speak, we should know about what actually we've been working on. So basically, these are pan-India presence. And we have got these many offices there. Now, before that, see the sectors that we actually reach out to: rail infra, metros, urban planning, ports and waterways, airports, highways, buildings, bridges and tunnels, locomotive leasing, O&M of rolling stock and quality assurance. We have got these offices in Videsh. Government of India also funds a lot of projects outside, and we have a very decent collaboration with our international partners. We have diversified range of services. This is a sectoral view. Airports, we have done a lot of airports, and starting from the master planning exercise, site selection, we handhold the government to do all these things. And then we finally obtain the clearances from Ministry of Defense and the Ministry of MOEF Environment also. We have done a lot of ports and waterways projects. So these are not only sectors. They are, about each sector has got about 400, 500 employees. So, after moving out of the university, you'll be coming, whoever is interested in transportation, you'll be coming to us. So before you ask any question to me, just please understand this, that you'll be coming to us only. Then these are the metro projects. So I am particularly involved in the metro sector, and I have done a lot of metro projects, starting from how the metro policy was generated by the government of India, and then how it has been scheduled and how the funding comes from the central government, and how does the state collaborates between the center and the ULBs to fund the projects. Then we have also undertaken a lot of rail infrastructure projects. We have done this for Bangladesh Railways. We did it for free, kind of, but now I think Government of India has backed up and says now we'll not do for free. Project management consultancy for Haryana Orbital Rail. And then we also did for Bogeyville Rail Bridge, which is one of the biggest rail bridges in Assam, in fact, in India also. This is the longest rail tunnel in India. Pir Panjal was done by us. Then we have the seven semi high-speed rail corridors, which were just announced in the budget. Their appreciation and the feasibility report has also been done by us. This is the highway sector. Highway sector, we have done a lot of highways. We work for border roads organizations and with a lot of NHAI, ULBs. We do a lot of PMC works, health monitoring of the bridges. We do inspections. We do DPRs for expressways, highways, a lot of them. And then road safety audits also. For buildings, there are a lot of buildings that we have done. Development of integrated checkposts also that we have done. These are the integrated checkposts. The key domestic projects are these. So here in buildings, we also do the quality assurance and HVAC, firefighting, detailed engineering drawings. Then urban engineering, sustainability and green mobility. This is very close to my heart, because this is, as we say, startup, as Sir said, startup, in larger organizations also, we have to follow the mandate of Government of India, and we set up smaller units, which are actually startups, but then we kind of probably, fund them a little bit so that they can stand on their own. So this was one of the startup that happened to be inside rights, and we had done a lot of projects in this also. So in sustainability, I would like to particularly mention that we have done the solid waste management, as Sir said, that I want to hear something about that. Solid waste management for the Liajan city, it's under Oil India. And we had prepared the report. Now we are also under discussions to take that project on turnkey and then actually show them on the ground that how will it be done. So for them, we have done this. Then for metro, new technologies that we have always been helping government is that once the metro policy was launched, tier 2 and tier 3 cities were complaining that metro to हमारे यहाँ आ नहीं सकती है, हम लोग क्या करेंगे बिना metro के. तो we had actually dovetailed and collaborated with the tier 2 cities and tier 3 cities and identified metro neo and metro light systems. But eventually, and unfortunately, Government of India did not recognize this as a platform and said that no, we cannot get into Metro Neo or any other policy for tier 2 or tier 3 cities. We have to have one policy as a metro policy for the entire nation. Then we also do environment and social impact assessments for different projects, and we do the lake river conservation projects also under this. Export of rolling stock. So this is something very mechanical, and this we take up the orders, prepare them, and then we send it across. Ropeway systems, again, this is very important and very important for tier 2 and tier 3 cities, because since transportation is very glamorous, so you'll find that even tier 2 and tier 3 cities want metros. They're like, nahi hona hai to metro hi hona hai, हम रोटी नमक से खाएंगे लेकिन मेट्रो यहीं चलाएंगे. So that slogans come out from politicians. And this kind of systems come into picture when systems like these starts establishing, because you have very minor roads, you have very narrow right of ways where there's difficulty in planning of the metro systems or any other lighter systems also. So we have also planned for this urban ropeway in Varanasi, which is now getting implemented, and soon you will be able to ride on the complete corridor of that urban ropeway in Varanasi, which is under NHLML at the moment. Then this is our quality assurance cell. Quality assurance is we assure the quality to different neighboring countries, or in fact Africa as well. To that the agreement is in place, and then there are certain guidelines under ISO procedures, and third-party inspections are in place. Renewable energy. This is our subsidiary. This comes under our subsidiary REMCL. REMCL was made to do this groundwork for renewable energy for railways, specifically for railways. And we have done a lot of projects, completed projects, solar power projects, wind power projects. And then there are ongoing projects as well, which are again solar and wind. So these are some select projects photographs. This is Udhampur Srinagar Baramulla rail link. So we did the proof checking consultancy and alignment design for this rail link. This is the Pir Panjal railway tunnel. We spearheaded the detailed design and construction supervision. This is Gulmarg Gondola. This is I mean, I was not even in rights by that time it was undertaken. We ensured the quality control and managed the entire project with the consultants. This is Ayodhya Dham Junction railway station. This is a new building that is, has come up for Ayodhya. Then this is Bogeyville Bridge. This we have done the detailed design, structural health monitoring, and consultancy. This we have sent it to Mozambique. So here somewhere I think you can find the Government of India logo also, and we are proud to do that. These are dedicated freight corridors. This we did the PET surveys for entire DFC and the supervision of construction of railway track and the freight corridors for Western DFCs. This is NTPC Lara. This we did the feasibility study, DPR and PMC for the railway siding. We have got subsidiaries also, REMCL. We have got joint venture of sale and rights, which is a 50-50 partnership. And we had established Rights Africa. I think there was one more joint venture, probably subsidiary, which we have closed probably in the recent year. The name would not survive. Awards and recognition. So there's a list, lengthy list. I would not like to get into this. And yeah, that's all. So transportation is huge for us. It's basically huge. We have around 2,500 employees at our organization, spanning pan-India, international, and various. And we have actually strengthened transportation from zero to maybe, I mean, whatever $1 million that you can think of. But transportation still remains a hurdle. Still remains a hurdle for a common man, and which we are trying to solve. And let's see that how will we be able to give back to the society, and what we can best do to sustain the mobility or make mobility sustainable. And I can also take up ideas from you. If anybody wants to do any internship or trainings with us, you're most welcome. And only if you have certain sense of transportation in your mind, then only I think it will suit you also and us also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your work and valuable insights. It certainly gives us a lot to think about. Now I invite Ms. Charmi Shah. She's a manager of logistics and industrial at JLL. She also holds a master's degree in urban and regional planning from CEPT University along with an executive program in business management from IIM Calcutta. Her work majorly lies at the intersection of urban planning, land use, and infrastructure. I invite Ms. Charmi Shah.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for having me here. I am Charmi Shah from JLL, part of industrial consulting team. And JLL is basically an industrial property consultant firm, a Fortune 500 company, which deals with all the real estate classes. It provides advisory services to all the investors, developers, and occupiers as well. Let me start with a slightly provocative thought over here. So some of the most important sustainability works are not happening in glass office towers. It's happening in buildings like this. This is what a Hilti manufacturing plant in Gujarat, and this factory doesn't just manufacture products. It actually saves energy by producing majority of its power demand through solar panels. It it saves water energy, so it's a zero discharge water plant, and it has it has basically passive design elements to it so that it saves carbon energy. So this is an example of that industrial and logistics in India is not just going green in theory, but in practical as well. So now why suddenly sustainability is suddenly a talking factor in industrial and logistics in India? First of all, the global standards and foreign trade agreements that are there. Now, the recent India-UK foreign trade agreement that has been signed, manufacturers are very keen and happy to to leverage them. But then there is again a sustainability factor which talks about climate resilience or green energy and saving carbon development. So manufacturers have to move beyond cost cutting so that they ensure compliance and they can leverage these FTAs. Second is the technological innovations that are happening. This is the era of industry 4.0 and 5.0. Now these smart sensors are not just they are the how behind what is happening in the sustainability. When we are talking about sustainability to be applied, we always talk about the matrix, but technology has helped us to achieve through the different ways that are there in terms of data driven operations as well. The third thing is the economic efficiency and cost reduction that gives. Now sustainability used to be an expense. It was considered as an expense by majority of the investors. Now it is no longer an expense. It is a tool for resilience and cost cutting. And the fourth point are the consumers. So the 2026 consumers, which are sitting right over here, they have created a market where sustainability is a competitive edge. They will think about where my sneakers have come from or what is the carbon footprint of my phone that I'm using. So this eco anxiety of these modern consumers is actually driving the demand for sustainability. Now, let's look at the numbers. These were the theory that I just talked about, that these are the drivers. But what is happening on ground? Right now, we have an industrial and logistics stock of 500 million square feet. Whenever we think about real estate, we either think about the residential apartments, villas, or the commercial office blocks. But there is a most important factor which we usually miss, and it impacts the urban fabric of any city, and which is this industrial and logistics stock, which includes manufacturing as well as warehousing. And this is right now 500 million square feet, and it is projected to reach 850 million square feet in 2030. And interestingly, these were go downs, typically called as go downs. These were typically known as go downs in the market, but now the quality has improved and it has moving towards grade A warehousing spaces with higher specifications. And this is majorly driven by whom? The institutional investors. Now, when I say institutional investors, we are talking about all the world's largest institutional investors, including Blackstone or Indospace or ESR. So, if you would have recently read in the news that the Blackstone has recently filed for an IPO in for their logistics portfolio, and JLL was driving the DRHP of that. So now these institutional investors are investing in this market, and this has been an attracting factor for them, and they know that this is the place where we should invest. Now, moving on to the interesting part of that number, I want you to focus on this 4x number. Now, out of that, the number that I showed previously, 265 million square feet in 2024 is already as known as green warehousing stock. And this is expected to grow at 4 times by 2030 to reach 270 million square feet. And who is driving this green warehousing stock? The institutional players again, which is so 72% of their stock in industrial and logistics is already green or in the process of going green. So that means that the capital market is not asking that whether we should construct green or not. They are asking there is no other way to construct. We have to focus on green warehousing. Let me give you a solid example here itself. So ESR wanted to expand to tier 2 cities, especially to cater to the eastern market. And they started their logistic park in ESR Cuttack, 2023. Now, that was a trial project for them also. But then they didn't say, let's wait, let me construct one building, let me see the demand, and then I'll decide whether to go for green or sustainable. On the day one itself, they targeted for IGBC certificate. So that's how these players are driving these sustainability measures at India as well as at global level. Now, this is what we are promoting for local developers as well, for local investors, and for the companies who are coming into this. So that they understand the importance. Even the occupiers, the companies who are taking up this space, they also have to. These are also multinational companies, and they also have to reach their ESG goals. So this is where these players come into the picture in driving this green warehousing or green industrial logistics in India. When I say green warehouse, these are the features that we usually talk about: highly insulated roofs, solar PV rooftop, green building certification. There is landscaping, rainwater collection. As I mentioned, zero discharge water campus is the new term that is coming in. Natural lighting. So there are small design elements that have been implemented to ensure the natural lighting, and these are the concerns even in a building like a warehouse, which we think about it's just a warehouse, but no, it has a lot of investments and design elements that go into the picture. Now, when as I said earlier, so there are different stakeholders in real estate. So for us, for the three major ones that drive this is basically developers, investors, and the occupiers who are occupying. Now, what is the benefit for a developer who is constructing this? To invest in green, to develop a green warehouse. So they get different incentives from the government. So I am right now talking from the private side. So even the government is promoting such green logistics parks. Even government like Karnataka and Tamil Nadu are actually giving 50% of subsidies of their capital investments in this domain. Then they can attract better tenants, better occupiers in this space, and they are actually constructing future proof assets which are investable grades. And the next target is to get the certifications. When I say certifications, certification is now not just another marketing gimmick in the space. It is actually about measurement. It is about credibility of any project, be it industrial, logistics, residential, commercial, and it is also about performance. So these are some of the certifications that are active in Indian market. The lead certificate is actually by the US GBC, which is actually adopted at a global scale, global level, and a similar version of that is Indian Green Building Council. So that is applicable more on the Indian projects. Then there is Global Real Estate Sustainability Benchmark. This is a slightly different. It actually gives rating to the entire portfolio of a company. Now, this is where these companies target to get the certification at a global level. Then there are building codes. So these are energy conservation building code. This is more on not certification, but on compulsory domain. Then there is EDGE certification, well building standard, where they talk about human well-being. And then there is DGNB, so which is more on the German side, but that is also applicable in Indian projects. So the Hilti manufacturing plant that I just showed you has received DGNB, German Sustainable Building Council Gold certificate, a very first in India. Coming to the second stakeholder, which are the investors in this domain. Now, what is the advantage for them? Their asset valuation gets higher. They are the market differentiators. So if any multinational company looking to enter in India and they are looking for any manufacturing or logistic place, they will try to target such players which are these, certified, globally certified, have better credibility, because these are the projects that they can rely on when they're entering into India. Now, that's why even when a local developer comes to us, we tell them, please focus on such certifications to ensure that you can attract more tenants and multinational companies who are willing to pay extra rentals to those extra costs that you are giving to for the construction of the building. This also increases the tenant attraction and retention that I just talked about, and it gives you access to green financing. Financing the future. Now, there are some traditional instruments, green bonds, which we usually talk about at municipal level or urban level, but that is applicable on the industrial and logistic projects as well. Then the green loans and the green insurance and the green grants. These are all traditional instruments which we usually know about, but specific to green move or sustainability. Then there are innovative new age instruments like crowdfunding. We see the examples of crowdfunding of different social issues, but now this crowdfunding is also adopted in such private projects also. There is green venture capital who focuses only on these green projects. And then there is public private partnership, which government is very actively doing by providing land to such green logistics and industrial parks to promote them. And then there is blended finance, which is very similar to PPP, but two private parties are involved in that. And then there are instruments which are exclusive to climate change. There is carbon credits, which majority of the people are aware of, which is on the mandatory side. But similar to that is carbon offsets, which is on the voluntary side. And then there are sustainability linked bonds. These are performance-based bonds. Now, at JLL, we don't ask that is your building efficient. We ask them that is your green building ready for getting the finance from the green capital market. So that's where we advise them, how that it's not just about creating a building and leasing it out. You are focusing on the next 5 years only. Let's target for the next 20 years. And when you want to do that, you have to adopt such measures. And that's how you get the finances from such instruments. Then the third stakeholder, the occupiers, who are actually operating the building. So even if you have constructed with sustainable construction materials, if the operations are not cost or not environment friendly, then there is no point. And these are the people who are paying the rents for the next 10 years when they are on their lease in your building. So what is the advantage for them to adopt such measures? So there is, the number speaks itself. 30 to 40% savings in total energy consumption, 20 to 30% savings in potable water consumption, and then 30 to 35% reduction in total embodied energy. This research has been done on a live project, take a large scale live project where I'm talking about 1.2 to 1.5 million square feet of project, and how these features, adopting these features, have reduced the carbon energy that has been produced. So that how it is reduced and how it is efficient for them as well. And for them to achieve their ESG goals is the most critical thing now, and this creates a pathway for that. So now, just a brief, like what we offer when it comes to sustainability. We just don't give advices. We partner with any of the company throughout their life cycle, starting from the plan, which is your idea stage. The moment you have an idea in your mind that, I want to uh, construct or I want to occupy a manufacturing plant, we are there where the foundations of sustainability are set. So we tell them where to do that, which are the places where you will get maximum incentives, which are the which is the strong supplier network for you, which is the strong customer network for you. Then the second part is act, which is transaction and construction phase. So which is basically where the performance of the building is truly taking the shape. And then the third is the operations part of it. So when a building is in use, so these operations actually impact the environment, environment. When I say plan, we are talking about business location advisory. We are talking about best use of that land. We are talking about sustainability strategy, decarbonization strategy, and then there are science-based targets initiatives that the companies are not even aware. In fact, I'm sure that majority of the people sitting in this room also might not be aware how to achieve these targets. And these are the numbers that are going on in the market when it comes to the private sector. So we have an interesting tool called Carbon Pathfinder. So usually in sustainability, what happens? You construct something and then you decide whether the efficiency has happened or not and which factor is doing work. What? So this tool actually takes that guesswork out of the picture. So you put in your details, your building details, you put in what all initiatives that you want to do. It will tell you what cost it will have, and then what are the revenues that you are expecting, what are the savings that you're doing. So it actually calculates the ROI of your sustainability initiatives on that project before even constructing. So you're not investing anything on that. You're trying to get to a numerical picture of what it will have the impact. Now, when I said act, there is a new thing that is coming in, green leases in warehousing. And now the green leases is widely adopted, which includes green lease clauses that are being added. So we provide advisory to how such clauses can be beneficial for both the sides of the transaction. So there are water conservation measures that are implemented on ground. So that is written in the agreement itself. And the third thing is project management. When the building is already constructed and operational, you have to manage the project in such a way that you are actually saving the carbon credits and you are increasing the operational efficiency. Now, the tools like JLL Canopy, which actually gather the utility and the data so that you can monitor the performance, and it has an automated reporting feature as well. So it actually calculate your progress with the benchmarks at global scale. JLL Hank is a very interesting AI tool. So it integrates all your data sources, including occupancy sensors, and it will tell you that how much HVAC settings you need to adjust right now. So you're not just using HVAC even when the occupancy is zero. So this is all AI driven tools that are there. Just the two recent case studies that we have developed. One is in Vastrakala exports in Chennai. So by implementing all these measures that I just talked about, so they had actually saved over 45% energy savings. That is from their benefit. Not just, we are not talking about that, it will be good to the environment. We are talking about the one they are using also, because they are investing their money in that. So why would they invest it when they have solid savings in the cost as well? So 45% energy savings, 75% energy reduction through solar installation, and then 50% reduction in their water consumption also because of the fixtures that they are used, and then 100% rainwater and wastewater recycling as well. These are the features that people never thought of implementing in industrial and logistics sector. Now people are thinking about it. And the second project that I just talked about, Hilti Manufacturing, it's not just they have experienced the benefits, but they have received the first gold certificate DGNB of India. With this, I would like to leave a thought to you that green revolution is coming. It's quiet in this sector, but it is impacting a lot, and it is profitable. So the question is that whether we want to start right now or we want to get into the fast track mode to enter into this revolution. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your valuable insights. Next, our next speaker is Dr. Ripol Kanji. He holds a PhD in Risk-Informed Sustainable Development from IIT Roorkee and currently serves as a technical lead at GRRID Corps, an international team working on climate resilience and risk-informed development. He previously worked with government at state, national, and regional levels and contributed to global initiatives such as making cities resilient. He is also the founder of the Co-Federation of Risk Education Professionals, a national platform for young disaster risk education practitioners in India, and serves as a co-chair of the UN You Inspire Alliance under the UN framework. I invite Dr. Ripol Kanji to share his perspectives.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm pretty sure halfway through the session, you guys are wanting some tea and refreshments, maybe. I'm standing, and he's also standing in between that. Nevertheless, I will take 15 minutes of your time, precious time, and I would talk about something which might seem a little off track based on the discussions that we have had, because I will be talking on disaster management, climate change a lot. But I hope this would be a little bit interesting also. Let's see how that works out for us. So even before we start, I must tell you what Grid Corps is. So basically, it is a social entrepreneurial venture. That's just about it. But one thing that makes it stands out is that we have a very, very diverse team. We do not have engineers or data crunchers. We also have cinematographers with us. we have musicians with us. So that's how we stand a bit different from those organizations or companies who are working in this particular field. Why have we started Grid Corps? It's interesting that over the years, we have observed that most of the problems that we are facing today, they are systemic, they are non-linear, and perhaps they would continue because of our biases and comical absence of future thinking. Take a minute to ponder on that and see if that relates to you in your own field of work. Specifically talking about our approaches that we intend to band-aid everything. Something happens and then we put a band-aid. There's a cyclone, then we put a band-aid. So we must, come out of that habit. We can't impose solutions. Big consultancy firms comes and they will impose a solution on you, that they are consultants. Subnote, we are the consultants to those consultancies. I will tell you how. Who are we working for? When we started Grid Corps, we thought, who are we actually working for? Are we working for the government? They have their different agenda. If you are working for the local government, they will have their own reservations, their different agenda. We are working for the community, they will have a different agenda. So how do we decide for whom we are building resilience for? So that's a key question. And as the meme goes, today's problems are modern day problems, and it would actually require modern solutions, right? So this was the whole reason why we started Grid Corps. And very different to other organizations, we have 3 pillars of work. We have consultancy services, of course. We have a branch dealing with innovation for resilience, and we have a branch dealing with capacity building, which we have been talking a lot about. So I will give you examples from each of these pillars because it will not be easy for me to walk through all our projects. So let's start with 1, innovation for resilience. Many of you would be familiar to this city, Jodhpur, and it would be very closer to home. Blue city, sun city, very good. Many of you might have visited Jodhpur also. And it's particularly known for 2 very, very fascinating things. 1, the blue houses, and second, the numerous water bodies the city has. Now, there are 2 underlying narratives that supports these 2 fascinating and amazing things about the city. First is that when you go around the city, with a guide, of course, they will tell you that these blue houses keeps the indoor temperature of the houses very, very ambient. The blue houses. That's the first thing. The second thing is that this city is replete with water bodies. You enjoy some, you won't enjoy some because how they have been maintained, but that's a different part of the story. But if that be the case, then why is the city suffering from these problems? Why are those houses which are supposed to give you ambient indoor temperatures failing to do so, and people are rushing to buy coolers? Why the city replete with water bodies, more than 100 water bodies, is struggling with water scarcity? This is a problem that we intended to address. Now, like any other consultancy firm, we would have also said, this is because of climate change. Welcome to the era of climate change. But we went on to do a very simple analysis to understand whether it is actually climate change or is it climate variability. Those are 2 very different things. And when we talk about climate change is manifested through 55 essential climate variables. We just can't look at temperature and say, हाँ गर्मी बढ़ रही है. We just can't look at the rate of how precipitation is going down and say, drought, बहुत problem hai. We can't do that. At least if we are scientifically minded, then we should not do it. So we did this. And we figured out very interesting things. That these blue houses are actually amazingly built and they do provide ambient indoor temperatures, but It's not because of the blue color. It's because of how those houses are built. But how do you generate this evidence and provide confidence to the people? So what we did is that we engaged with the community and we took them around with our interns, mind it, no experts, interns who did all kind of modelings possible to explain it to them that it's not the color, but it's how the houses are built. And interestingly, that has become a part of how the city's master plan is now being changed. And in addition to this, all this information has also gone into Jodhpur's heat action plan, which I might tell you is the country's first heat action plan that has embedded cultural heritage in it. It's not a copy paste. Now, see, you need to let's say, you need to provide evidence to the people, to the communities, to say that your house is good enough for this climate change thing. But we do not have a lot of money to do it. So what we did is that we designed that tiffin box that you see there. It's a very inexpensive prototype which records temperature and humidity every second. So when you carry this device inside your house, with every step that you take, you would see the temperature and the humidity actually dropping. You take this along with the community and walk in a house which is traditionally built, which is not blue, and it will show you the same results. So this gives you the confidence that my house is climate intelligent, right? So this is what we did. And initially, the narrative for the guide was that come enjoy our blue houses, the indoor temperatures are good. Now the narrative is come enjoy our traditional houses, which are built in such a way that even in this era of climate change, our houses are climate intelligent. So that is how the narrative has changed. And this again, the animation that you see, interns, no experts. Right. Coming to the next problem of water stress. If you look at the city is engineered in a way that it is entirely a watershed for the rainwater that comes to that region. But the problem is that these water bodies were supposed to be used, but they have not been used for decades because of our understanding of how development works. So it has not been used, and very contrary to the usual understanding, the groundwater in the city has gone up to such an extent that even if there is a small bit of extreme rainfall, you would see water oozing out from the manholes. This is the condition. Now, of course, you would not have funds to change everything, but what you can probably do is that you can engage the communities. So we went around, spoke to people, and when we tied all this up together, we came up with the climate culture story of Jodhpur. It's available free on YouTube, and there are no experts speaking on climate change. There are no advices. These are normal people. These are local councillors, sweetmeat sellers, auto rickshawalas, nannies and dadis talking about how they have experienced climate change, how they have dealt with it, and how those practices are falling flat on its face now. And the next thing was to ensure that these things are sustainable. How do you do it? So what we did is that we engaged with children. We showed them the facts, we showed them the science, and we left it up to them. You design what you want to do. We give you the floor. We give you 3 days to cook up anything that you want. On the 4th day, we'll give you the audience, you perform, and you let the world know what you want. And they did a magnificent show of saying that they want their culture to be integrated with science for the development of the city. That's what they did. And that is also a documented film that you have on YouTube. You can watch it. The impact, if you want to say so, is that the Maharaja of Jodhpur took cognizance of this work, and he has adopted this entire thing as a curriculum in his schools. So that's the first thing. Second thing, people have become more vigilant in a way that they have started taking responsibility of cleaning up and maintaining the water bodies, which you can see very well. And the best thing which I like about this project is that the women of the city, they have become more confident that their nuskes, domestic gharelu nuske, are actually small evidences of very hyperlocal climate action. They can be a part of that dialogue where usually they are not a part of. So this is one of the best things that has happened. Any guesses where this photo is from? Any guesses? And also, we have moved to the other pillar of Grid Corps. We are talking about consultancy services now. So any guesses where this photo has been taken from? I think only one in this room would know because we had a discussion. But yes, this is from Ukraine. We are in the business of uncertainty. Now, the biggest question is that in this business of uncertainty, how do you advise anyone for that matter, governments or community, on what is possible and what is likely in a plausible scenario? Take a minute to think about it. We know a missile impact is imminent. It's a plausible scenario, but how likely is it? How probable is it? And how do you put a value to it? How do you convince everyone that you need to act on it? That's where the real challenge lies. But we did it. So this was a consultancy that we did for UNESCO and ICROM, which is the capacity building wing of UNESCO. And this we did specifically for the heritage sites because they were being impacted the most. When you look at the risk equation, it has hazards, exposures, and vulnerabilities, capacities. And when you talk about this, you give a lecture, it's very easy. Risk is a function of this. But when you actually go down to do the math, it usually does not add up. And it looks pretty and easier when it's done, but I will let you know for a fact that it's very, very difficult, very difficult for anyone to, imagine all of this, do it quantitatively and express it qualitatively. Okay, moving on to the next pillar of our work, capacity building. And since we are in Bhubaneswar, it's better to talk about city next door, Kolkata. So how many bongs in the house? Some? Okay, cool. Some. Perfect. I had been working outside Bengal for a pretty long time. So when I came back and I have been working in this field of disaster management and climate change. So I thought if we can talk about Mohun Bagan, East Bengal and cricket so much, why cannot we talk about climate change and climate science over chai? Why is this not happening? And we really wanted to make this a household topic of discussion, engage youth and young professionals, impart them in the process if they are interested, democratize disaster and climate science. We want people to understand that disaster management is not about opening manholes when there is a flood, but there's much more to it. And also wanted to show that there can be a conducive ecosystem where we can do a lot of transformative work. So we started developing a web series. Please do not mind by the look of the characters, but this is actually Feluda and Topshe talking about climate change and disaster management. We were short on budget, so we could not afford who is Tota right now. But any which way, they're actually talking about climate change and disaster management. And we use this clip exclusively for students. We do not intend to, showcase the quality of what we have done, but just to trigger the thought that if Feluda and Bomkesh can start talking about climate change and disaster management, dude, you should also start thinking about it. So there are two-part episodes of this web series, and we talk about many things, many sensical, nonsensical things. For example, from our young age, we have been taught that disasters are of two types, natural and man-made, but scientifically and technically, there are no natural disasters. You can look it up. But imagine this coming from me. No one would understand. No one would take care of it. Bakwas kar raha hai and walk away. But if it comes from Feluda and Topshe and Lalmohan Babu, probably it will tinker something. So that was the whole idea. Also, we started engaging with local groups. If you are from Kolkata, you would know There are Boshako Protijogitas, sit and draw competitions everywhere. So what we did is that we took up the responsibility of designing the certificates. So usually see climate stripes for the nation, climate stripes for region, but we did a climate stripe for Kolkata. So when the kids were taking the certificate, they're of course the first thing, my name, my first prize and everything, but then in Lal Neel Eguloki, what's this red and blue and this started. One started asking the other, they started asking the parents eventually came. We did not explain it. They eventually came and asked, what is this? Is this a design? And that is when we explained that, look, these are climate stripes. This is how the temperature of January has changed over a period of time, for a decade, for more than a decade. And that's when it tinkered a thought in the parents as well as in the children. So this is also something that we have done. Everyone aware with this? This is a new trend, right? So you would come up with how to make videos with this sound. So the question is, if you have tutorial videos for this using generative AI, why can't you use generative AI for accessing, analyzing, and visualizing climate data? What's wrong in this? People often come up to us and say, sir, GIS hai, kharidna padega, महंगा है, data महंगा है, नहीं मिलता है. I say, not the case. We have other huge freely open alternatives like Google Earth Engine. Why can't you use it? Sir, code nahi likhna aata hai. I come from a commerce background, but I'm interested. Use generative AI, come on. So we developed a framework and tested it. And these are the results. And again, mind it, the framework we developed, but the implementation have been done by students, not us. We did not help, not a bit. So we gave them a very basic question. Do you ask this question, Jay? এইবারের এপ্রিলটা আগের বারের এপ্রিলের থেকে বেশি গরম. So this April is hotter than the last year's April. Do you ask this question? If you ask, then use generative AI to understand if this actually is the case. And this is how they have come up with. These are month-wise increase or decrease of temperatures that has been happening. So now these kids keep on thinking that when I say it's hotter, it is actually hotter. We have the data for it, and we do not need to be scientifically minded. We do not need to be coding geniuses to do it. You can do it. Everyone started talking about this year is La Nina, so the winter would be very harsh. The kids who did this actually knew that the winters would be harsh, because you see, I do not know the light, because of the light, but these are types which actually indicates El Nino and La Nina years, where either the rainfall is abrupt or the temperature has gone down. So you would see how the whole thing works out. So it not only gives you access to data, it analyzes it and it helps you visualize it. Any which way, this is the journey of Grid Corps. I have given you 3 examples of our projects across 3 pillars, and our journey continues. Because what we think is that resilience is not local. It's not about Kolkata. It's about Khidirpur in Kolkata. It's about Shialda in Kolkata. They're very different organic pockets where we need to build resilience. So it's in a way hyper local. So that's about it from my side. And very happy to collab and take questions after the session. Thank you so much for your patience.
Thank you so much, sir. You truly reminded us how important it is to talk about climate change, and we will make sure that we will continue to explore this further on as well. Now, I invite Mr. Rinu Thomas. He's a clean tech entrepreneur and engineer, and the co-founder and CTO of Vivifica Sustainable Solutions Private Limited and Vivid View Innovations Private Limited. A BITS Pilani alumnus, he works to translate engineering research into practical, scalable technologies that address real-world environmental challenges. Through Vivifica, he leads the development of Venerator, a patented IoT-enabled organic waste management system that converts food waste into clean energy and organic fertilizer, helping reduce landfill dependency. I invite Mr. Rinu Thomas.
Good afternoon. In this room, everyone may know about biogas plants. Biogas plants are here in the society for decades. Even during 1808, Sir Humphrey Davy invented biogas plant in paper. The first recorded biogas plant in the history is built in India. It built in 1859 in Mumbai. But even in the CBG era also, India is going behind CBG, compressed biogas, and in this era also, there is no reliable source level organic waste management device, that is a reliable biogas technology for urban institutions. So I am here to introduce our product Venerator. It is a biogas plant developed especially for modern urban society. My voice is not okay. I got a fever and cold yesterday due to travel maybe. Sorry for that. And I already took two. And Venerator, the name itself, it means waste to energy generator. We named our product like this, Venerator, waste to energy generator. Like it is a biogas plant, re-engineered and redesigned biogas plant, specifically for food waste and specifically for modern urban lifestyle. And why biogas plants are not attractive to urban institutions? It is not changing. So why biogas plants are not attractive to modern institutions? Because specifically this food waste. Food waste is not a homogeneous waste. It consists of very easily digestible carbohydrate. It also consists of very difficult to digest leafy vegetables also. It's a mix of lots of things. But the conventional biogas plants are designed specifically for almost homogeneous waste like cow dung. Cow dung is a partially digested waste. It can a single chamber biogas plant can easily handle cow dung and generate methane from it. But it is not conventional biogas plants are not designed for food waste. If we install such type of biogas plants in modern institutions, at that time there may be chances of failure because of the variation in quality or quantity. So because of these all things, most of the installed biogas plants in urban institutions are either failed or abandoned. And this challenges also comes into the urban local bodies also, because since last week the central government implemented solid waste management rule 2026, and in that government is trying to push source level organic waste management, and for specifically for bulk food waste generators. So there is an implementation challenge for urban local bodies also, if there is no such reliable biogas plants or source level organic waste management systems. The conventional biogas plants are simply a single chamber system that is only designed for handle homogeneous waste like cow dung, and because of that the gas produced also the biogas in the biogas the composition of biogas is in such a way that it is only 50% methane content, and other 50%, almost 50% is carbon dioxide. Because of that, the quality of biogas produced from conventional biogas plants are not suitable for institutional canteens, where we need high energy requirement, high energy burners. So that type of gas cannot be used in that. The gas produced from biogas plants, we cannot use that gas directly into commercial burners. Also, the slurry since conventional biogas plants are designed for homogeneous waste, if we handle food waste into the conventional biogas system, at that time most of the biogas potential. That is, most of the slurry is undigested. Because of that, that slurry also very difficult to manage for urban institutions. So here, for all these systems, all these problems taking in consideration, we developed our product Venerator. It is a result of almost 6 to 7 years of experimental research, and we have started our company in 2018, and last year only we have installed our first pilot plant at SP Medifor Trivandrum. That's a hospital, a very big hospital that is located at Trivandrum city center. And we have installed our plant. The first photo is that plant. That we have installed that plant at center of their parking location. So that is evident of that our plant is suitable for that urban lifestyle, modern urban lifestyle. And sorry, it's mainly our innovation. Innovation is conventional biogas plants are on a single chamber system. In our system, we made the system biogas plant as a multi-chamber system, and we have developed a system called selective recirculation. In that, in multiple stages, undigested waste is recirculated back, and get that undigested waste will get enough time to get complete its digestion through selective recirculation. That is, there is a separation between digested and undigested waste through a mechanical separation system called like that centrifugal separation using a hydrocyclone. After that, the separated waste is recirculated multiple times to complete its digestion. So through that, we got almost 40% more yield than conventional biogas plants with same size. And also the slurry output, because of the proper digestion of the slurry output slurry is very easy to handle. And after some post treatment, that slurry can be directly fed to the STP. So the slurry management will not be a issue for that institutions at urban areas. Also, in our system, we have developed a cost-effective gas purification system, not like conventional CBG gas purification system, very costly system. It is by using the same principles of vacuum pressure sink adsorption and pressure sink adsorption, we have developed a cost-effective gas purification system. Through that, we are getting around 90% purified biogas, and that is almost similar quality of piped natural gas, and we can use this gas in conventional PNG stoves itself. So in our SP Medifor plant, they are using our gas and PNG in same stove. So this is the traction of our plant. We have did multiple demo plants, one at KTDC T County with the UNDP support, and our first pilot plant at Trivandrum SP Medifor. And these are some ongoing works, not complete list. We got, because of the new update like solid waste management rule 2026, we are getting some enquiries and orders from all over India. Even we got one enquiry from Orissa, that is Kalinga Hospital. We got one enquiry from Kalinga Hospital also. Then these comparisons are composters and conventional biogas plants. This whole point I already mentioned, because in conventional composters or conventional biogas plant, it is very difficult to handle mixed food waste. That performance will really depend upon the quality and quantity of the waste in such type of systems, and energy recovery. Only in biogas in conventional biogas plant we can recover the energy, but for urban installations like urban institutions, that conventional that gas is not usable because that quality is not up to the mark. And hygiene issue also. Conventional biogas plant produces some smell, mosquito issue, and because the conventional floating drum system and all have some limitations. But if we go for that fixed dome system, then also they have some limitations. So salary management is very difficult. So all after taking all this consideration, our system has a specific advantage over each of these systems. And what is the relevance of our system in modern cities? Uh, Urban local, if we treat the waste at the source itself, at that time, urban local bodies doesn't want to transport the system, the food waste into the centralized plant. Even in that cleanest city like Indore, that Indore there is a CBG plant, and Indore also they are trying to implement that source level waste management for bulk food waste generators. So there's a that transportation, that waste transportation has its own problem. So that problems can be solved through using source level waste management. And we are targeting for hospitals and industrial canteens and institutional kitchens, school, colleges, and hostels, and large hotels and marriage halls and large housing societies. This is a short description of the solid waste management rules come during the last week. It is going to implement from going to effect from that April 1st of this. And this is just an economic analysis of our plant. Our plant, as compared to conventional biogas plant, conventional biogas plant of 500 kilogram per day handling capacity will cost around 20 to 25 lakhs. But our system is little much more costlier because of the different components of the system. It will cost at around 35 lakhs. 35 lakhs, but for the clients, that institutions, there's a actual return from that plant, because India is going to implement a tipping fees for the bulk food waste generators. It will comes at around 6 to 10 rupees per kilogram. That is the government is planning to. I think that is the national average they are planning, and by considering that we can get lots of return from waste handling, and also some savings from gas also. And for bulk food waste generators, the break even will happen within 2 to 3 years. And most of the biogas implement in installing agencies will tell that if we implement biogas systems in at their their premises, at that time we can avoid LPG. That is not possible, because 500 kilogram LPG food waste can generate only 20 kilogram LPG equivalent gas. If an institution will generate around 500 kilogram of waste, that kitchen will consume around 3 to 4 LPG cylinders. So we can save only 1/4 of the cooking needs only by using this biogas. So the main savings is from waste handling itself. So this is our team. We started from a 4-member team, and now we are a 12-member team. And this is the SDG and impacts which of our plant. I will show a small video that will. Can you operate that YouTube link? It's a small, this indoor plant. Just a, this is our plant. The waste loading itself, it is completely automated. So a 100 kilogram waste is very difficult to dump into the system for a person. So yeah, that dumping itself is automatic. gas purification system, which I already mentioned. This is a selective recirculation system. There's a small correction in this video. In this video, it is telling that 90 to 92%. Like we are getting only 85 to 90%. This is all about our product, and I know presentation not that much good because I am not able to present properly. Then fine. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your innovative ideas and insights. To take this discussion forward, I invite our moderator, Professor Shraddha Kumar, to lead the question and answer session.
Good evening, everyone. Great cities and big changes are not built in scientific paper journals, design studios, or air-conditioned offices, nor do they magically assemble on construction sites. They happen when academics step out, when policymakers listen harder, and when realities from the ground speak their stories. This venue today is where all of that sits in the same room together. I would request all of you to seize this opportunity, and I would request all of you to take advantage of this opportunity to interact, engage, and ask as many questions as possible. And with this, I would open the floor for the audience. I would request you to please raise your hand and also name the respected speaker to whom this question is directed. And then we can address each of the questions one by one. Of course, we had a question in advance. So, sir, if you could take a lead. And I think your question was for Mr. Himanshu. So, yes. Can you give a...
Sir, I want to know how you are relating freshwater, all tanks, all areas, the cultivated land, without it.
So we are not doing it without treatment. We have collaborated with the municipal STP plants. So municipality Rajasthan sewage policy already has this mandate that they have to treat all the STP plant. The challenge in Rajasthan right now is they do not have a means to use that or even release in a proper drainage or a proper river. So the investment from our side is basically the pipeline from the STP plant to the whatever the fields we are taking. So we can maximum, and we have figured out the economics. The maximum we can go further is 10 kilometers. So within like a diameter of a radius of a 10-kilometer from the STP plant, we can set up a farm.
If you are treating the water to irrigable standard.
Yes, that is on the variables.
Okay. Thank you.
Next question, please. Yes.
The last Winnie. So you must be putting some enzymes into the waste food substance to digest it so that gas can be created. Otherwise, you have told that we just put the waste and forget it. So you must be doing something, I hope, because it is an external digestion.
Yeah.
Like we eat food and it is digested inside our belly. So you are digesting externally.
No, it is also an anaerobic digestion, similar to our food itself. It is the feedstock. Feedstock is mixed with an inoculum that is extracted from cow dung itself. Initially, we are loading the plant with cow dung. It is cow dung.
Cow dung.
Yeah, cow dung or similar that bacteria, anaerobic bacteria.
That bacteria you must be using.
Bacteria.
Because
Initially, we
you
are
have
doing.
to put some enzymes to digest it. Otherwise, it cannot be digested like that because you are doing.
That bacteria is the during the initial stage itself we are doing a bacterial initially we are filling the plant with bacteria through after that we can put food waste day by day, and further addition of that bacteria is not required after that.
Not required.
Not required. Because inside that bacterial culture will form, and that will grow, and that will create a ecosystem of the bacteria that can digest that incoming food waste.
Yes. After that sludge comes out, it must be smelling also.
Yeah, so some smells are there. We are doing a post treatment.
That is what I was thinking.
After that post treatment only that slurry will become smellless. Post treatment, there is a dedicated post treatment chamber to remove the smell from that.
Are you drying it?
No, not drying. We are in our plant, that pilot plant which we have installed at SP Medifor. We are sending that output slurry directly into the STP of their system. STP mixing with the sewage treatment plant.
That can be used as manures, or that can be used as
it can be
like coal briquettes, fuel or something installation.
It can be used as a manure, but in urban area that handling of that manure also is a difficult task. So they need to handle that slurry in their premises itself. So they if the institution doesn't have a facility to manage or use that fertilizer at that time, they need to handle that slurry in some way.
Like this is a campus. So in this campus, if this institution puts one machine like that, then all this plantation or this can be given, and the water can be used.
Yeah, we can mix that fertilizer coming from the plant with the irrigation water, so that all plants will get some benefit of the organic fertilizer also.
You are putting water also inside that also.
Yeah, it is mixing. The food waste is mixed with water and making a slurry. We are following the wet digestion system in that the total solid content in the produced slurry is around 15% only, 15.
Yes. This way we were reading in our time, the waste is wealth. So this type of waste can be used as wealth.
Yeah.
Can it be a financially feasible project?
Yeah, it is a financially feasible project for bulk food waste generators who is generating more than 150 kilogram of waste per day.
Mhm.
If otherwise, if we,
Suppose for this institution, what will be the payback period for that
what is
machine?
wha-
Payback period for, suppose you install, how many, what
what
will be
is
the
the
cost of this?
what will be the per day waste production, sir? Then only we can calculate that per day waste production. Based on the per day waste production, only we can design a plan. According to that, we can calculate the return period also. Then also, if the capacity is more than 150 kilogram per day, the payback period will be less than 3 years. Less than 3 years.
It's a good thing, actually.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So, Mr. Thomas, what will be the frequency of an interval, frequency of cleaning of solids from the reactor?
Yeah, that reactor, that undigested material.
Yes, yes.
That
And how much quantity you are withdrawing at a time? Completely withdrawing or partly?
sir, it's a
After you are after digestion, after decomposition,
Yeah.
gas is formed.
Yeah.
So the solids you are removing intermittently.
no, not like that, sir. After it is a selective recirculation. Undigested solid will recirculate again back to the first chamber for further digestion.
Okay.
And some undigested materials, such as the
Yes,
eggshells and all will remain as that calcium deposit. Like some small quantity will remain as undigested, and that will deposit at the bottom of the tank.
Okay.
And once in 3 or 4 years, we need to clean the bottom phase.
Once in
3 or 4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
That means, like septic tank they were.
That not complete part, a small portion of
Small
the
portion.
bottom.
Yes, yes.
We there we already put a provision to remove that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Why can't you develop a domestic models for 5 to 10 kilo of waste so that the gas generated can be used for heating the water for our own home use?
Home also we already installed in multiple homes, but that because of the high cost involved in the product, we are not.
I request you to develop a new cheap model which can everybody can use it.
Yeah.
Okay.
But sir, that systems, that components, that sensors and all will cost some price, and that will not be very economical model for households. We already installed for some premium households at Kochi. Last day before I came here, I installed one plant at Todupuzha. That plant cost around 2 lakh rupees. And
like solar heater, if you can develop a small machine, no, it can generate manure, and it can heat some 20-30 liters of water. So any domestically can be used at any home.
That also, sir, that energy also, that for heating that 30 liters of water, that energy requirement is very huge.
Okay, it will take time to develop. Huh?
Product we have, sir, but it is not economically viable. Economically attractive.
Okay.
Ma'am, we have a question.
I think this can be kept in our building regulation. I am talking to all the urban managers, because we have a building regulation where we are imposing the people to have solar lighting and water recharge pits and all these things. In every hotel or hostel where community feeding is there, this can be a part of that. So I am just sensitizing the students also,
Sir,
that this can be included in the building regulation itself, so that every hotel or common restaurants preparing more food, they can keep one this type of machine by default.
Sir, it is there in rules from 2016 solid waste management rules itself. Every bulk food waste generators.
Where is that rule?
That is in India government published a rule called 2016 solid waste management rule. In that rule itself, it is there. It is there. Every bulk food waste generators.
That if it is kept in the rules, if it is given in the regulation, then everybody is bound to keep this.
New rule.
So by that way we can.
But then also, sir, for installation and permissions, they will install one small plant, and they will get the paper, After that, they will not use that, because when I inspected some hospitals at Kerala itself, and at that time they shown some biogas plants. It is having the capacity of treating 5 kilogram per day only. They are producing around 1,000 kilogram per day, and they are
So,
growing that
yes,
biogas
no,
plant
we
for.
should. All right, thank you so much. We'll move on to the next question now. Yes, ma'am, please.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
So I guess I have two questions. Two different groups.
No, ma'am,
Use
I
the mic?
think you have to
Okay.
use the mic.
So I actually, may I ask two questions?
Yes, please.
Thank you. And so the first question is to the startups. All three, I think it's Himanshu, Mr. Kanji, and Mr. Thomas. So the three startups there. I'm really curious about your financing models, and and also once you had the idea for what you wanted to do, how you actually got the funding. So so if each of you could speak to that, perhaps maybe start with, since Mr. Thomas has had quite a lot of conversation, maybe we can start with Mr. Sharma and Mr. Kanji. Sorry, Mr. Thomas, but we can hear from you later. And then my second question actually is to Ms. Shah. I'm very curious. So I have a student who's working in Bangalore doing looking at warehouses, and it's become, in Bangalore at least, according to his research, a very substantive way of sort of holding on to land in peri-urban areas and building cheaply and fast and quickly and holding on to the land till land use changes. And so I know JLL is hopefully is not in the business of speculating, but I am curious about how, your knowledge of that segment, that market segment, what you think about that process. So those are my two questions. Thank you.
I will stand up, otherwise I can't see you. So thank you for touching the biggest pain point of all the startups. Yeah. So, but interestingly, as we were even discussing, so in my model, when I'm doing farming, thankfully, so far, there is such a huge gap in the case of operations, taking care of the farming and operations. My customers are paying me in advance. So I always have a buyback contract, either if it's MNC, it's Zomato or all those companies. I have like 30 or to 40% advance, which covers my working capital. I have some tie-ups with the seed company, fertilizer company, who gives me in say on credit whenever the harvesting is done. So a lot of is being done in the good faith so far. The another idea to come on this conference is to figure out if there can be another financing options or not. So that answers.
Okay, so each of the pillars of our organization is funded very differently. To start with, the capacity building pillar of our organization is funded through MOUs and MOAs with different universities. We have quite a number of MOAs, and we typically leverage the notification of UGC, which speaks about having a course on disaster management in every college. While we have that notification in place, there are not many resource persons who are very capable enough of delivering the entire curriculum. So that's one way of getting our hands on funds for that particular pillar. For the second pillar, innovation for resilience, we actively look for grants. There are call for grants, and when we started our organization, I knew in my mind that someone would have to work hard, and that's me. So I keep on looking for grants, and that's perfectly fine. So that's not very productive, but it helps. It helps because once you get a grant and you do an exemplary work, you tend to attract much more the next time. And the third is consultancy based on the team members, the resumes of our team members. All of us have more than a decade of experience in different dimensions of disaster risk management and climate action. I work in urban resilience. I am also, in a way, someone who works at the intersection of cultural heritage and disaster risk management. So this particular caliber you will not be coming across in many people. So when you need someone to do a specific project in the domain of cultural heritage and climate action in India, someone in the United States or someone in UK, not US now, of course, but someone in the UK would probably look at me. So that's the third one. The fourth is that if you remember during my introduction, she mentioned that I also own another organization, which is Confederation of Risk Reduction Professionals, which is a Section 8 company. Because we are a Section 8 company, we are liable to get CSR grants, CSR funds. So we look at CSR as an alternative mechanism, financing mechanism for disaster risk reduction. And we leverage that particular thing to get projects to CRRP, and then we sublet it to GRID or any other organization who are expert in this. And the best part is that we really do not have a very high operational cost because, as I mentioned, we do not hire experts. We do not need experts. We need mentors, and we need young professionals to be booted up for the actual world. So we take in interns, we take in students who are willing to learn for a very short period of time for a project span of, let's say, 12 months or 14 months. We train them. It's a lot of hard work from our side, but we do that. We train them, they deliver wonderful projects, and then they are absorbed into postdocs, docs, doctoral studies, and then wherever. So this is how we function. Thank you.
In our case, since it was R&D during the initial phase, we put almost most of the fund from our side, that is bootstrap. You may notice that our company started in 2016. At the same year, India government started the Startup India initiative, and through that we got our company got almost one crore grant for different field trials, from different organizations like UNDP, IIT Kanpur, IIM Madras, IIM Bangalore, IIM Calcutta, like most of the prestigious institutions in India recognized our startup as one of the top waste management innovations in that. Through that, we got almost 1 crore rupees. So getting grant, as he mentioned, for startups is very easy nowadays. You may notice that when she introduced me, at that time she told that I am a co-founder of two companies, Vivifika Sustainable Solutions and Vividu Innovations. Vividu Innovations is a company which is doing a water treatment mechanism, that is antimicrobial resistance removal from hospital wastewater. We are developing a product, and for that product, we just started the company before 1 year, and for developing that product, we got almost 2 crore rupees from that CCAM through AMR mitigation. One CCAM, CCAM. That's one organization under India government. We got around 2 crore rupees for developing that. So for a startup getting field trials or pilots, getting grants from government of India or any state government is very easy nowadays. I think grants are the most suitable way to get initial funding for a startup before getting into the market.
Yes, there's one more question for Ms. Charvi. Yes, please.
Well, I want to add something. I don't know whether the university takes up this or not, but just without knowing, I must say that emotional intelligence should be made a part of, the course curriculum, in every course curriculum, because now that the funding mechanisms, people are asking that how do you get the fundings. Initially it was a lot of pain for the startups, and just only after the carrot and stick approach of the government that you have to support the startups, people have started supporting them. But it should have come from within. It should not have been a carrot and stick approach. It should have come from within. Unless we actively engage students in emotional intelligence, it is very hard for them to lever or maneuver this mechanism.
There was a question which was directed toward Ms. Charmi. Yes, please.
Yes, hi. So when you asked about the land issues, which is there in not just in Bangalore, but in all the major cities, because the developers or the landowners have realized the potential of the returns that are going to
that they are going to get if they hold the land for a long time until the land use zoning has been changed. Now, this is something a market factor. Of course, the government is there to change the land use, but that is also driven by the market demand. Now, that's why there are different land acquisition or leasing models that are there in the market, which are, driven by different I mean, we negotiate based on that as well. So one is the typical land acquisition, which is from the private or from the government allotment. Then the second is you take it on lease. That is also a simple one, that you take the land for long lease, which happens in government. Now it happens in private as well. But now what the developers are getting involved into that, especially the ones that I said, institutional investors, they are doing lease to buy. Now they will lease the land for a longer time and lease the land, and then they provide the ownership of that land to the owner. So that means a manufacturing facility who doesn't have the immediate capital, they will buy it on lease and they will have a consistent cash flow as operational expense, and then they will buy it at that amount. So that will and the total lease amount is subtracted from the capital expenditure of the land as well. So their NPV gets adjusted accordingly. So all of these models have come into the picture. Yes, land is a scarcity, and the zoning from the government is a very important factor when it comes to the problems like this, holding the land for a longer time. All the agricultural owners are doing this because now they have understood the demand of industrial. And that's where we are also facing the problem when we want a 20 acres land in the outskirts of Bangalore. Even though it sounds like it's just an outskirt, but no, it's not that easy. It is difficult. But then the land is opening now. The government has realized that if you'll see, they are having estates of more than 100 acres, 200 acres. That's where now, if you'll see rare earth metals corridor that have been proposed in the union budget, it's not just about proposing the corridor. They are opening up the land. They are building infrastructure. So that's where the government also gets involved. It's not just private and market demand also.
Yes, Anushka, you can ask your question, please.
Good evening, everyone. My question is to Priyanka ma'am. That actually right now we are studying about transport also in this semester. Our professor is also here. So, so my question, she talked about like when the informal settlements, or sorry, I have questions regarding informal settlements again and again because I have a little interest in that regarding housing and settlements. So when informal settlements or residents are relocated to city edges, the environmental risk is shifted from the city core, like from the city core. Sorry, I'm not able to collate my thoughts. Just a minute.
You can put it in Hindi.
Yeah. Yeah. So the environmental risk is shifted from city core but transfers economic and mobility risk onto the urban poor. So how can public transport planning can be like institutionally designed, or like you have talked about so many initiatives or so many areas where the company works. So is there anything regarding this or anything which has been worked upon this issue?
So I'll tell you, the state of Odisha is basically famous for this resilient infrastructure across India. It's you should be proud that you're sitting in this state. How is this that have you seen this Malti-Pattapur bus terminal that is designed by me? So now Malti-Pattapur stands outside the main city core, and how that impacted the transportation of people is that we had to develop a bus system which could provide access to people moving from the city to that area and then from that area to the city. And via this, Puri also got connected. So this is how the planning comes into picture, that you have to connect the dots. You have to understand the livability, you have to understand the human requirements of accessibility, of course, because we're talking about transport. But at the same time, when you do this, you have to see that since it's a public transport system, so you assess that environmental gains would definitely be there. But then the human disasters, or in fact, somebody said that there are no natural disasters, but I would still quote that natural disasters as well, even if they impact, they would impact, the impact would be much, much lower than as compared to if I would have built, multi-layer flyovers or, other type of systems. So this is contextual. This is not a alignment that, that fits in every system. This is contextual. Why I'm talking about this here is because state of Odisha is concerned. But if you go back to like aligning this with Chandigarh, so Chandigarh is cannot fit into this system. Chandigarh needs a more, heavy system, which may have certain environmental considerations as well. But at the same time, it will provide accessibility to the people. So it is a weighted game.
Also, one more question, if it's allowed.
Okay.
Me only.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Despite major investments in the rail and metro system in India, we see that there is still problem in the emissions and the congestion problem. So, what do you think that where is the disconnect here? Like,
Disconnect is that when you go out, you have a good job. Would you buy a car or would you not buy a car? Why? Why do you buy a car? Your congestion itself. You're creating the congestion. But then at the same time, you're giving back to the government also in the form of taxes. You're improving your status. You're improving your accessibility as well. So buying a car and using it on the road, they're two different things. You can buy the car, but use public transport. That is how emissions can be reduced.
thank you, ma'am.
All right. Thank you so much. I would like to thank all the speakers for taking the time and delivering their presentations, and also for this interactive session that we had. Okay, all right. We're going to take one last question. Okay, please. Sure.
I have left.
Yeah, right. So we talk about water sanitations, we talk about the wastewater management. So how open you are when the startup approach you, which is already been proven to the other cities, and they want to come to your cities and do something about the sanitation problems, wastewater management, or even any tech which is economically viable and feasible at the same time, or it just a good conference going on and all of that.
I love your question. Right now I am loving these two gentlemen, Thomas and Himanshu, because they have partly solved my problem. The first is that because of the 2026 rule, all these apartments and all, they have lot of issues. They are not putting up this waste management things. So at the city level, we are putting up CBG plants, but at the apartment level, when they are forced, many of the apartments, they are beyond the municipality boundary. So then his solution, so I am going to, amplify his voice. Maybe I will take some flyers, or maybe I will try to spread in my, through WhatsApp to my connect. And then for Himanshu, so I am in my current role in the department. So the biggest task is to reuse the treated wastewater. So I am trying to put up STPs in all the, in 110 cities.
We make STPs.
You make STPs, you are most welcome. So how do I reuse that? Because again, we have also a draft policy. I am also part of that formulation of the draft policy of reusing the treated wastewater. So he has given a lot of points. In fact, in Punjab, here you are doing as a startup. Now, what has happened in Punjab? I was talking to the Punjab engineers. There, they have a farmers cooperative. So the engineer talks to the farmers because the issue is there. Where do you get the land to put up the STP? So they talk to them, and the farmer, they gladly, he gives the land whatever is required, and then the treated water is provided free of cost to the remaining landholding. So that way, government supports that project, they fund, and then the water is used. That saves a lot of things. So we are pro. So you are also most welcome. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm going to hand over the podium to Aparna now.
Thank you to all our wonderful speakers. We had different perspectives from water, innovative waste management to climate change and real estate consulting and transport planning. Thank you to all the speakers for this wonderful session. Now I invite Shraddha Kumar to felicitate our guest Sri Prashant Kumar Mohapatra. Thank you, sir. Thank you, ma'am. We'll now be presenting a token of appreciation to all our speakers. May I begin by inviting Mr. Himanshu Sharma. Now I invite Ms. Priyanka. Now I invite Ms. Priyanka Kataria. I invite Ms. Charmi Shah. May I now invite Dr. Ripal Kanji. Now I invite Mr. Renu Thomas. Thank you, everyone. We will now take a short break and reconvene here shortly for the second segment. Thank you so much. We'll take 10-minute break, so 4:50. 4:52, ma'am.